cannot step into the fullness of what God has for you if you still see yourself as incapable. I've been working out, I've been lifting, but I've been lifting light. The vision I'm walking toward requires heavier weight, more repetition, greater fortitude. The wilderness exposes how you see yourself. It shows you where fear, comparison, insecurity, or small thinking can prevent you from stepping into what God has promised. I can say I've been working on my identity for years, but I realized I haven't been doing it to the degree required for the level I'm going to. What if you think you've been waiting on God, but actually He's been waiting on you? That revelation changed everything for me. Welcome to This Time Next Year, a series where I share how I'm becoming the woman who is ready. Along the way, I realized that most of the time we think we're waiting on God, but often He's waiting on us. God showed me a vision that I'm not ready for yet, and I finally stopped pretending I was. So this year, I'm intentionally doing things I've never done before so I can become the person I've never been, to prepare myself to steward what I've never had. In today's episode, we're talking about one of the most important topics, identity, and why it matters so much. In episode 1, we talked about how the long way isn't a delay, it's development. But development isn't just about what you do, it's about who you see yourself as. As Proverbs 23:7 says, "For as a man thinks in his heart, so is he." The children of Israel had been set free from slavery in Egypt, yet in their minds they were still slaves. When the children of Israel came out of Egypt, the Bible says, the Egyptians had the Israelites work as slaves and made their lives bitter with hard labor in brick and mortar, and with all kinds of work in the fields. All their hard labor, the Egyptians used them ruthlessly. They didn't fully understand what it meant to be God's chosen people or what their new identity looked like. Just like them, we often have to shift how we see ourselves before we can step into what God has prepared for us. Because physically leaving Egypt is one thing, mentally leaving Egypt is another. And that's where many of us are. Verse 13:33 says, "And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who came from the Nephilim. And we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them." Notice what they said. We seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers. They hadn't gone up yet. They hadn't possessed the land. The promise was there, but they believed they couldn't have it because of how they saw themselves. That is the essence of a slave mentality. It's not chains, it's not physical bondage. It's seeing yourself as too small, incapable, or unworthy to receive what God has promised. Let that sink in for a moment. If they had gone with the scout's assessment, they would have stayed put, and they wouldn't have experienced the fullness God had prepared for them. They would have limited themselves, not God. Then Romans 12:2 reminds us, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." Transformation starts in the mind. Renewal starts with identity. You cannot step into the fullness of what God has for you if you still see yourself as incapable. Here's where it gets real for me. I can say I've been working on my identity for years, but I realized I haven't been doing it to the degree required for the level I'm going to. There are still areas where I shrink when I should stand. I hesitate when I should move. I overthink when I should trust. I seek validation instead of walking in authority. And the more I reflect, the more I see how these small moments can snowball. If I step into a season of increased responsibility without strengthening these areas first, I would limit the promise God has for me. Not because God can't do it, but because I wouldn't be able to steward it. That's the muscle metaphor I keep going back to. I've been working out, I've been lifting, but I've been lifting light. The vision I'm walking toward requires heavier weight, more repetition, greater fortitude. Deuteronomy 8:2 explains why the wilderness is necessary. It says, "And you shall remember the whole way that the Lord your God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness, that he might humble you, testing you to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not." The wilderness exposes how you see yourself. It shows you where fear, comparison, insecurity, or small thinking can prevent you from stepping into what God has promised. It shows you what habits, mindsets, or internal narratives need adjustment before you can carry the next level. Pause for a moment and reflect on that. This is not punishment. It is preparation. Identity determines capacity. If your mind doesn't expand first, your hands won't follow. If your perception doesn't shift, your opportunities won't land. I've been operating at a certain level, but the vision requires more. It's not that I'm failing, it's that I need to increase my internal capacity to steward well. Because seeing yourself small keeps you from going up. Seeing yourself ready allows you to step forward boldly. And this is why it matters to me. I can't just show up in the next season of my life and hope my old patterns work. I have to intentionally up my game. I have to strengthen my identity like I strengthen a muscle, consistently, deliberately, and with focus. So here's what I'm doing. Number 1, tracking my thoughts. I notice when I shrink, overthink, or seek validation, and I stop myself intentionally. Number 2, speaking my identity out loud. I remind myself daily, I am capable, I am worthy, I am ready. Not just affirmations, but declarations tied to truth. Number 3, reflection exercises. I journal what areas still feel small and make a plan to expand capacity there. Number 4, consistency over intensity. I don't have to do everything perfectly, but I have to do it consistently, like training a muscle. What they saw in themselves kept them from stepping into the fullness God had prepared. That is why identity matters so deeply, because your mind shapes your capacity. So maybe we're not waiting on God. Maybe God is building in us what the promise will require. And this time next year, I don't just want to have it. I want to be ready for it. I've been working on my identity intentionally, but I know there's still work to do. Noticing where I shrink instead of stand, speaking my identity out loud, reflecting on areas that feel small, and consistently strengthening the muscles of mind and heart. If God has given you a dream and you're ready to embrace your journey, take some time to reflect on where you see yourself and where you need growth. For those joining me on this journey, I've created a space that consists of tools and resources that I'm personally using to help me on this path. And maybe you'll find them helpful as well. The link is in the description below. Let's prepare, because this time next year, we won't just talk about it. We'll be ready to go up. I'll see you in the next episode. Have a great day.